Good morning, spookies. It is a Friday, and I was just sitting here on the back patio enjoying my breakfast. You will hear in the background lots of nailing and pounding and other kinds of sounds because, for those of you who don't know, we had a huge hailstorm back in April, and we still have roofs here in the neighborhood that are getting fixed. Ours, thankfully, has already been done in most of the houses around us, but there's a few that are still getting theirs done. But I wanted to come on today because I had this really weird synchronicity happen, and it has to do with my birthday. So, for those who don't know, my birthday is October the 14th, and you guys probably have the same experience I do. You see your birthday numbers all the time. So anytime I look at a digital readout on a clock and it's the 10 o'clock hour, it's always 10:14. At least it always seems that way. So you probably have the same experiences with your birthdays. So I'm always clued into that. And I'm always like, why am I always seeing 10:14? Or I'll see that number in other places. Well, this really hit home a couple of days ago. I'm always looking for new podcasts to listen to like you guys. And I don't always just stick to paranormal. I like to listen to a variety. And I don't usually go with what iTunes, or I guess it's Apple Podcasts now, suggests to me. Because I have an old iPod. I'm an older woman, so I'm still back in the dark ages, I guess. But every so often, I'll see what they have running across the top that they're suggesting that people should listen to because everybody and their brother's listening to it. And generally, those don't hit for me. But there's this one that I saw, and it's called Dear Alana. And this really hit home for me as I read the description because I'm a gay person. I'm also a Christian. So in my youth, I really struggled with having to put those two things together because I was raised in the Missouri Synod Lutheran Church, which is kind of what I call a step down from Roman Catholicism. So, you don't clap in church and you don't have a lot of fun. It's very just, boring, I guess is a way to put it. But they're very strict about stuff. And so when I was a teenager, I did the conversion therapy thing, trying to get healed from my being gay. Now, in most places, that is outlawed and they don't have that kind of thing. But I guess apparently they still have that going on in some places because this young woman, Alana, kind of went through something like that. There's only 5 episodes that have dropped, so I don't know how everything goes. But I do know in the end that the suicide ideation that I had to deal with, she actually followed through on. And the guy who's hosting it is also a gay person who is a Catholic, and he had gone through conversion therapy as well. Not only that, but this young lady lived in Boulder, Colorado. And before I moved here to Florida, I lived in Broomfield, which is right next door to Boulder. And growing up in Colorado, I know all those places and stuff. So all of it was hitting on all parameters for me. So I'm like, I'm going to listen to this podcast. So I'm listening to the first episode, and the host says that Alana was born in October of 1995. So I'm like, just curious, because you know me, I'm always asking questions. I do that on the show all the time. That's why we have all of our rabbit holes. So I'm like, I wonder when her birthday was in October. And it took me a while to find it because everything online when I was doing a Google search is just about the podcast and wasn't a lot of details on her. But I finally found it. And I guess you could probably already imagine what the birthday is. It's October 14th. So I was like, whoa. So she was born on October 14th, 1995. So I was like, wow, that's weird to all of a sudden, be listening to this podcast today and it just happens to hit on that date. So I get home and Kelly and I like Riverdale. And this is the final season, season 7. All of the episodes finally dropped on Netflix. So we started watching it. We get to episode 4 here in season 7. And Archie is with this girl named Cheryl, and they're going to get married to each other, and they've decided that they're going to move to California. So he's waiting at the bus stop for her, and the bus pulls up, and he pulls the tickets out of his pocket, and the camera flashes to it really quick, so you can see the date on them, and then goes to something else. And I went, are you bleeping kidding me? And Kelly goes, what? And I rewound it, and I said, look at the tickets. The date on the tickets was October 14th, 1955. Same day. I just randomly start listening to this podcast, and I'm like, I want something new to listen to. And then we're just randomly watching an episode of Riverdale. Same exact day as my birthday on both of them. 40 years apart. I don't know. The synchronicity is so weird sometimes, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks, and have a great Friday, even though it's not the 13th. It should be. Every Friday should be Friday the 13th around here.